At a certain point in my life, when I'd suffered some huge setbacks and lost everything I had, I came to a critical point of decision. I'd been an athlete all my life, and at this point, I'd become part of a softball team. We were serious, and we got pretty good. Before long, we were traveling and winning tournaments all over the place. Then, I hit a point where I knew I had to get my career back on track. It was time to pick up the pieces, regroup, and move on. I also knew I couldn't do this without changing something. I had to pay a price. It was a difficult choice, but I walked away from our softball team. My friends couldn't believe it. "You're quitting," and I said, "Hey you guys, you're still my friends. I love you, but get another outfielder." I took that same time and invested it elsewhere. I had to plant and cultivate in a different field. Remember, there aren't many millionaires who bowl over 100. Why not? Because they left the bowling league behind to build their fortunes. Is that too large a price to pay? Is a question only you can answer. Remember this: whatever price you pay, there's a bigger price to pay for not doing it than the price for doing it. The price of neglect is much worse than the price of the discipline. It may take a few years to put your success on track, but it takes your entire life to fail. Step 4. Look at it every day. The single most compelling reason for writing down your dreams is so you can look at them and read them every day. The reason you need to look at them every day is the same reason you need to keep yourself in the company of positive people. You need to counteract the force of gravity here, to put a different name to it, the force of mediocrity. Remember, it's 19 to 1 and you need to constantly remind your brain where it is you're headed, or you'll drift away. If you don't keep yourself constantly, repeatedly focused on your destination, you'll be like a rocket ship without a gyroscope. You'll simply drift off gradually into the outer space of failure, never even coming remotely close to reaching the moon. Surround yourself with it. Keep your awareness in your face. Look at it every single day. Your brain is far more complex and powerful than the biggest computer in the world, and your own subconscious is by far the biggest distraction you have. Remember how many times you heard the word no by the time you hit first grade? Over 40,000 times, while you'd heard the word yes only 5,000 times. Your brain has recorded an 8 to 1 preponderance of no, which translates into, you can't do it, ... It will never work, ... That's impossible. Why even bother trying? We all come at this business of success with an extraordinary baggage of negative conditioning, and that's all right. You and I can't live our childhoods over again, but we don't need to in order to fulfill our dreams. What we can do need to do wise. Surround ourselves with our own yeses. Surround yourself with messages that tell you your dreams are real. Your dreams are real. Your dreams are real. Having your dreams concretely spelled out, on paper, in the most vivid and specific terms possible, and with a very tangible, concrete timeline, provides you with an environment of yes for your goals, dreams, and aspirations. And when that 19 to 1 force of gravity starts leaking from our subconscious and says, yeah, but are they really? We need to respond, yes, 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 yes. Here is the amazing thing, and I've seen this happen so many times, yet it never ceases to fill me with awe. When you set your goals, life has a way of rearranging itself. A series of events starts in motion that you could never have predicted or planned to get you there. If you just sit there and try to figure it out, it doesn't happen. But when you surround yourself with your goals, your subconscious brain goes to work on it, and if you have the right philosophy, the philosophy of the slight edge, then you will come up with the right actions and keep repeating those actions. And a series of events will kick in, including circumstances you could never have dreamed of, that will take you to that goal. To give you an example, here is the true story of how I built the largest sales and distribution forces in all of Germany for one of my past companies, which has since become one of the largest such organizations in all of Europe, and one of the most successful in the history of that. Anatomy of a breakthrough. How I built a German sales force. One Friday morning, I woke up and turned on the TV while I was getting dressed. On television, someone was talking about a business opportunity and franchise show in Albuquerque. I thought, hey, maybe I should be in that. I called the people running the show, asked if they had an opening. They said, yeah. So I changed my plans for the day and spent the next 8 or 10 hours shopping around, buying things for my booth and making little signs and packages to hand out. The next morning, I showed up at the franchise show and found my way to my little booth. I'd never done this before. I was surrounded by really nice, professional booths and I stood in my stupid little homemade booth, trying to hand out my little brochures. Across from me, another person with a booth was blowing up balloons shaped like bears. There we were, Bear Man and me. All day long, people would come over to see the Bear Man's balloons, and I would try to hand out my information, but nobody paid any attention to me. I had 300 packages to give out and hoped to get names and phone numbers from maybe 10 or 20 people, but I could not give my stuff away. Finally, I found a line that worked. As one person walked past me to go see the Bear Man's balloons, I caught his eye and said, "Would you be interested in some great propaganda?" He stopped and laughed and said, "Sure." I used that line for the entire weekend, gave out all 300 packages, and got about 20 names. One of them happened to be a doctor named Shapiro. The next week, I called Dr. Shapiro. We had a pleasant conversation, but nothing happened as a result. I called him again and kept calling him. After about a month and a half of following up with him, he came to meet with me, liked what he saw, and got involved with my business. About this same time, I learned that our company was planning to open in Germany in about 6 months. I got my mastermind group together and said, "Guys, this is it. We're going to open up Germany." They said, "How?" I had no idea how. The only thing I knew how to do was double my rate of failure, do the thing, and have the power. We thought about it, and I decided what we needed to do was find Germans. So at our meetings we began teaching this amazing, sophisticated strategy we had developed. Find Germans. Eventually somebody came up with the idea of dropping in on the local Mercedes dealership. Someone else visited the local German club. One by one, ideas started to percolate. About 2 weeks later, Dr. Shapiro showed up at a meeting and said, "Hey, I found a German." I asked him, "What do you mean?" He said, "I'm talking to my neighbor while he's mowing his lawn." And I say, "Hey, by the way, Bob, do you know any Germans?" And he says, "Well, yeah, I know a guy who lives in Germany." And I say, "Really?" I told Dr. Shapiro to send this German person all my information, because I was planning to go over there in a few months. He said, "Hey, Jeff, aren't you speaking over in Miami in a few months?" Yes, I was. Well, this guy's coming over to the US, and I think he's going to be in Miami then, too. A few months later, I go to Miami, and sure enough, this fellow comes up to me afterward and talks to me. His name is Vin. He's from Germany, and he gets quite excited about going back to Germany and helping us open up there in a few months. Except, after Vin flies back to Germany, 3 months go by and the company doesn't open in Germany after all. We have to delay the opening by at least another 3 or 4 months, so I call Vin and tell him, "Hey, we're open in England. Why don't you go over to England and start working over there? You can get some practice, and then when Germany does open up, you'll already know the ropes and be really ready." So Vin and his wife Birgit go to England, rent a little flat, and start working there. Thank you so much for watching. Truly, the fact that you stayed until the end of this video says something important about you. It shows that you care, that you're hungry, that somewhere deep inside, you believe you're meant for more, and you're ready to take the small steps to get there. The slight edge isn't just a concept, it's a way of living. It's a quiet power that works in the background, shaping your future through the choices you make every single day. Most people ignore it. They think one small decision doesn't matter, but you're learning the truth, that every small decision matters, more than you can imagine. It's easy to overlook the power of reading just one page a day, walking for 10 minutes, saying no to junk food, putting your phone away and focusing, saving a single penny. Greatness doesn't arrive in some grand moment. It's crafted in the quiet, in the routine, in the choices that no one else sees. And if you stick with those small steps, if you keep showing up when no one claps, if you keep believing when progress feels invisible one day, the results will speak for themselves. If this video gave you even a little push of inspiration, then don't let it stop here. Like the video, subscribe for more content like this, and share it with someone you care about, someone who's maybe just one idea away from turning their life around. Your story is still being written, and the pen is in your hand. Thanks again for watching. Keep growing, keep believing, and never forget your slight edge begins now.